So today is July
6th, July 6th.
6th?
Yes. And the following is the sort of the rough sketchings of a first act written on the plane ride back from Hawaii. These are sort of the summation of the beginnings of the recollections of the work of Michael Dougherty, Dan Harris, and myself that we did in Hawaii on the project Superman. Long ago,
on the doomed planet Krypton,
a wise scientist
placed his infant son into a spaceship and launched him across the galaxy.
arriving on Earth,
The boy was raised by a kind farmer and his wife,
and soon discovered he possessed powers and abilities
beyond those of mortal man, disguised as Clark Kent.
a mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper.
He used his gifts to become Earth's greatest protector, Superman.
Fade in. The screen is 1:8:5, standard format. In an artful and elegant way, we are reintroduced to the opening scene of the 1978 classic on the planet Krypton.
Because when I was a kid, it was like, we are so big. And then suddenly it was like Marlon Brando, dun da da dun.
Yeah, duh.
Bum ba da bum. And then they explode. Bum ba da. And then suddenly, just when I thought that, when I thought that was big, the letters, that giant S. And I was just like, 5 o'clock in the afternoon at the Prince Theater in Jersey with my mom, just like, Superman.
For 9 years, I saw the movie one particular way. We pushed and we pushed and we pushed. He, within a second, saw the real way it should be made, which was the reverse of what in our mind we had been going for. And God love him, thank God, came up with something that is really magical and spiritual and very, 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 very emotional.
My initial rough framework was just basically a rough pitch, which it was with Richard Donner and Lauren Schiller Donner in my hotel room in Austin, Texas. And I said, I know I don't have control of the property, I know I'm not involved in it, they're gonna make another script, but if I made a Superman, would you listen to me? And I told Richard Donner like what I would do, and he said, I love that idea. And that was the blessing. Because without his blessing, without Richard Donner's blessing, you can't make a movie like this. I don't think so.
Superman's been around for 50 years. There are so many different incarnations of Superman. He's done everything. They've rewritten the mythology a dozen times. The suit has been 100 different ways. So we're going back to Superman 1 as our kind of canon. Dick Donner shot a very realistic, very natural movie.
Dick's #1 rule for the first film, I think he called it verisimilitude. That's very similar to how Brian believes, that everything has to have a certain logic. It's like, where do his powers come from? Well, they come from the yellow sun. What is kryptonite? It's radioactive pieces of his homeworld. It's like, you can't just assume that an audience knows exactly how and why these things work and exist. It's like there has to be a scientific logic behind everything.
We find Lex Luthor and his associates, we'll call him Otis for the moment, aboard a huge icebreaker making its way through the polar ice. Luthor has charts spread everywhere looking for something.
I'd say that this is an action-adventure, romance, comedy.
The internal story
is a struggle with Clark Kent, who is faced with working with Lois Lane, who was like, "Oh, Clark, you meet my husband? We work together, isn't it so great?" And he's like, all the time. We're very, it's the humor of him being like, Lois, I don't know, But when Superman comes back into her life, that's her old love, and her memories. Remember, he kissed her in Superman, and suddenly it was just like Clark separated the two. But there's something, Superman, that's her first love that she just doesn't want to acknowledge. So, and they have to contact each other because of certain information, certain things, and she's very torn, and he's very torn.
But fun big ideas, you know, saving space shuttles and building crystal palaces and stuff like. You don't see that in X-Men. You don't see Spider-Man's burning buildings, and X-Men is dark torturous machines that give headaches.
We're about 12 weeks in. We had a very quick start. Brian and the studio agreed to make this film about 12 weeks ago. There was no script, no plan for a design, not anything. We've visited Sydney, which is where we intend to shoot the film, about 2 or 3 times, and the design is well underway. We've got 120 sets at current count, which is pretty close to double what we had on X-Men 2. This is the storyboard room, and this is Gabriel Hardman, who's the key storyboard artist for Bryan Singer. And essentially in here, the film in its sort of visual sense is created.
Bryan pitches the sequence to me in really broad strokes, and I come and figure out shots for it, draw them up, show them to him. He makes sort of editorial comments.
The boards are gorgeous, but there's always about, we joke after the fact, we always say we're going to get 1/3 the amount of actual shots. So what I'll do is I'll key off certain ideas. It destroys Lex's Fortress of Solitude, is that what you're telling me? And there's another one. Oh, another one. Each one of these will cost $3 million, I'll be told.
It'll be worth every penny.
And then there, the shadows coming across the thugs, I love it.
It's not always possible for me to do a drawing on every single thing. So I need to bring talented guys to continue that process. We've now entered the lion's den. This is where the illustrators live and breathe sometimes.
Our initial goal was to show them various ideas that they could then pick the direction.
For every 10 drawings, at least maybe 1 or 2 actually, you know, I like. So there's a lot of like hit and miss, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of paper thrown away.
It's kind of to give the emotion, the lighting, the mood, the atmosphere, and really help tell that story so that those designs come together in a cohesive way.
The moment you translate the drawing into something three-dimensional, you get a whole new perspective on it. You can see the level of detail we go to with these architectural models. This helps Bryan and Tom Siegel design their shots very well. It's also an amazing tool for us when it comes to building, because obviously we can't build something that's 200-300 feet high.
There are some huge images in this movie that were made from kind of ideas in the script that we didn't gloss over, but that weren't really extremely important to us until they were brought out in production art. And once they took some of our ideas and things that we just threw off and turned them into kind of amazing production art, we went from there and expanded based on what Guy made, which is really great for us. It's like giving a visual voice to what we're doing at the same time when we're doing it.
This film is probably going to have 15 to 20 department heads. And when you have a team that big, you need to make sure all the information's consistent. So the Bible and the research is really important. Our Bible is a giant book which we keep. And in that book are all the images that you see on the wall, all these specific pieces of research, so that all the heads of department, everyone from the visual effects supervisor to the costume designer, Bryan himself, and all the producers will have this book so that when they want to know about a specific set, instead of being in a panic, they can just simply open their Bible. They'll have at their fingertips images of those things. So it really keeps everyone in the loop.
On that. So that should be down there in the corner, like, but then this should be drawn in the bottom panel in case I You understand? So but I'll zoom in on this.
As your life will be seen through mine.
You need that part. You want to see my, yeah.
But I'm saying, do you want to cut? I'll show you. Wait, just pause. You will carry me inside your life, make my strength your own. See my life through your eyes. How much of it is relevant to our movie? Basically, they do their scenes, their improvements, their drafts, and then we sit and just go through it in the room and try to make the changes in the room.
Read out loud.
And we read them out loud. And sometimes we'll call scenes out loud. We'll do the dialogue back and forth. We'll make up new dialogue back and forth.
Yeah, we read it to each other. Someone plays Lois, someone plays Superman, and we read it out loud and see if it works.
I look great in a wig. Dan and I kind of took separate chunks of the treatment. So it would be, I want to write these 5 scenes, and then Dan says, I want to write these 3 scenes. So then we email them back to each other and combine them and then rewrite each other back and forth. And then submit to Brian, who says, this is good, this is good, this is horrible, this is good, this is terrible, good, good, good. Kind of like getting graded on a college paper.
I'm telling you, you're going to go skydiving. You need to, if you want to write about people who fly, you need to fly.
Gil heard the story prior to me, and he called me at home, and I said, tell me. He said, John, I can't tell you, it is so brilliant that it just took my breath away. And I went, really, really? And I said, well, tell me. He said, I can't tell you. And then finally we all had lunch, and he told me, and it was something amazingly, spiritual.
All of our conversations, Brian and I, have been about, we don't want to do something that's already been done, and we want to do it differently. You don't want to disappoint. You want the audience to just be wowed. I personally feel that we, the human race, needs a Superman. And when given the opportunity to be involved with a project about Superman, I thought, well, maybe there's something we can do here that's bigger than just a movie. And when I heard the story that Brian and the writers told me, I felt we were really on the right path. So, yeah, I think we all need this.
Today is October 5th, 2004. And our first draft is going to be delivered in about 3 days, maybe. And we are filming in March, so that makes us 5 months away.
We're getting ready to film callbacks for a Superman candidate, Superman/Clark Kent candidate.
The process of casting was complex. There'd been several incarnations of this movie over about 11 years with about 3 different directors. A lot of people had come in, a lot of well-known people, a lot of unknown people, and I went through hundreds of tapes.
I hired 10 casting directors around the world, from Toronto, Vancouver, 8 cities in the United States, London, New Zealand, and I took New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles, and we started meeting everybody that hadn't been met. In other words, all the unknowns. We found that the known people kind of took you out of the story.
And finally gravitated to a tape I'd seen of Brandon where he didn't quite show it, but I saw something in it.
He was actually found here in Los Angeles. He's from Iowa.
Finally, I set up a meeting with him right before I flew to Australia for Scout at the local Coffee Bean. And the 2 of us sat down for 2 hours, and that's really where I make my decision. It's in the one-on-one, understanding the essence of the person, seeing their personality evolve over a long conversation. And I think it was that afternoon that I made my decision pretty definitively.
So now that we're in casting, do you have any thoughts here? Is this the guy? Are we going to see him? Is it?
Ooh, no comment. No comment.
I think this is the guy.
This screen test occurred after a couple of more meetings and some videotape, some Photoshop work I did, some hair work. We even put a painted image of him in the costume. I think I'm eating up a lot of tape here. Let me just explain what... Yeah, I know, but people's time isn't. I knew in my heart that he was the one I was casting for the role, but he didn't. So what you're going to see here is him getting prepped and for the screen test and getting his hair cut and sort of being put on the spot by Mr. Burnett over here in his camera without really knowing that he basically had the role.
My name is Brandon Routh, and I am testing for the role of Clark Kent, aka Superman.
This is a pretty big responsibility. How do you feel about this?
I feel good about it. I feel like it's my responsibility to take care of it.
Way to keep that stress level down.
Now,
way to take the pressure off.
You're the only person on the planet Earth of all humanity that's in this place right now.
It's true.
What is I mean, what does that feel like?
It's pretty good.
Rob has single-handedly put more pressure. I spent the whole last week, you know, making this casual and less official and fun and relaxing. You know, it's just a, you know. Now that's all just. Whoo.
So what's it like working with Brian?
It's been great so far. We have, you know,
haven't really worked together.
we haven't really, you know, we've talked a lot, which is good.
How does one get into character?
I'm trying to think of a funny answer, but I'm not going to come up with that. Confident, strong, intelligent, caring, strong sense of justice.
You're going to do well.
Thank you.
Looking through some glasses for Clark Kent.
Very thick thing.
Yeah, I know. Got that, man, a fake nose.
Okay. And a mustache. Wow, you can't recognize him.
They're gonna have to be horn rims of some kind. They look like a Fellini film. Yeah, again, they're a little Harry Potter.
Yeah.
These are the ones.
Number one?
These are the pre-selected ones. Number two.
Yes.
Yes. I like that. Those are horn rims, right? Those horn rims, right?
Those are good.
They don't detract. These don't like.
Those are good. They're not as
detract.
fancy out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep these four out, and then let's go do his hair. I'm asking Stefan what he believes is going to be the biggest challenge with your hair.
It may take some. You're probably gonna have to texturize it because it's so
thin it
heavy.
out.
Yeah.
Just take some, and then it'll
Thin it though, or put texture to it.
Well, thinning and texturizing the same basic terminology, but going and lightening up the weight of it.
Okay. Better save this. Guess we need to glue it back on.
Very nice.
I didn't know that anybody else was, if anybody else was auditioning. I had the sense that nobody else was auditioning, and I kind of kept that to myself, and I thought it was very interesting that the DVD crew was there filming this. Then people kept coming around, saying things that, oh, you're gonna love Australia and all these things. I'm like, hello, I don't have the job yet. You know, I don't really believe in jinxing me, but it felt like everybody was kind of jinxing me. And people kept saying things, laying hints, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I really am the only one that is testing this time.
They're shooting a 70mm film, not since, well, 65mm film. Close. The Robe. Lawrence of Arabia, 2001: A Space Odyssey. What else? Hamlet, Far and Away. And I think Terry Malick's shooting something in 70 right now. I don't know if we'll be doing this for the movie, but it's just fun. Okay.
Well, maybe, you know, saying goodbye was hard because he wasn't sure whether he was going to be gone for a little while or forever. And maybe he had to go, and he wanted to say goodbye, but he couldn't find the guts to do it because if he saw you even for one last time, well, maybe he was afraid that if he saw you just once, he would never be able to go.
Let's start with the big question. Where'd you go?
To Krypton.
Well, you're back. And everyone seems to be pretty happy about it.
I read the article, Lois. why the world doesn't need Superman. Why did you write it? I hear everything. All the good and all the bad in this world. You said that the world doesn't need a savior. But every day I hear the cries for one.
I think I found my Superman.
A lot of the characters about not just the internal stuff, but how you look. I mean, it'd be stupid to say that putting on the suit, the cape, and the boots doesn't make a difference and make you walk differently. It does. That's how it is. So it's a great help. And all this pre-practice, it's like free rehearsal. I mean, it's work, but it was really good. It'll pay off, you know.
I got Brandon Routh.
Yep.
I've got a dog named Smurf. I got Smurf's son. I've got a larger dog and a small cat with eczema cast. And that's it.
And now that you are back, do you expect things to go back to the way they were? For everyone to welcome you?
I read the article. Why the world is better without Superman.
I spoke to Kevin about it, just to get a sense, and he said, yeah, and he was very complimentary.
Okay.
Yeah. So just because I just needed, he was complimentary. He said, you know, he was like, she's a girl, she's young, but there is a maturity, and she went in places that for him. And
Everybody was like,
yeah.
we want to see a script. I said, you're not going to get to see a script. It's Lois Lane, it's Superman, it's Bryan Singer. What more do you want?
Well, a script.
What are you going to say to JJ?
I wasn't planning on calling JJ yet until he says that that's what he wants to do.
Want to hold off on that?
Do you want to?
You want to hold off on that, or
Do you want to sleep on it? I think you should go.
I've been sleeping on it for 2 months. I've wanted it
Let's do it.
for since before I went to Beyond the Sea again. I wanted her. Kate Bosworth, Lois Lane.
Okay, right. Great.
All right, guys.
Done.
I'm making a sort of decision here.
What's happening right now?
We're on our way to LAX to get on a plane to Sydney, Australia, to begin production. Well, production's already begun, but to continue production and begin filming Superman.
Remember the little people back home. Remember your mom and dad.
The Clark thing was pretty easy to tap in for me because I was like that in high school to some degree. I mean,
you were an alien from Krypton masquerading as a high school student?
That's the part that was actually what I was like.
Be happy and know that you're doing the right thing, because you always have. It's always good.
I wasn't the most popular kid in school, and I wasn't as bad as Clark, I suppose, growing up. But I wasn't the cool kid either, so I fit easily into feeling a little alienated.
I'll say to laugh and always listen to the music.
Here I am with Superman, and we're flying together. I'm on the tails of his cape all the way.
Yes.
I think we fear for our lives for the next 6 months, but we're looking forward to it.
My
name's Louise Mingelbach, and I'm the costume designer for Superman. I started on this at the beginning of August last year, August 2004. At that point, we didn't even have a script, and we started working on the Superman costume. And we didn't even have a Superman. The Superman suit's so iconic, and it's so classic, really, that it was just recreating something that's all been good for decades. We've become so sophisticated in our superhero kind of vocabulary the audience has that you kind of have to keep up with that. So we updated it, but kept it very true to, you know, what it always was, very classic. So we had that. We had a guideline. We had a very clear guideline of what Brian wanted that suit to be. I know that Mrs. Kent made the suit, okay, in the mythology. Well, she, you know, obviously that's suspended here.
Yeah, I like the S. I like that in there.
But the rest of the movie, you know, I think, other than having a great Superman suit, you have to create this world, and you have to make it believable, and you have to make it hopefully a little stylish, but not too stylish, unless you're doing that a period film, which of course we're not doing. So I worked with Guy, and we, you know, and he told me the colors he was using in the sets, and we were very, very careful to control the colors. So it's all kind of grays and browns and beiges, and the idea was that when you see Superman, he jumps out at you. He's the red in the movie, he's the blue in the movie, he's the yellow in the movie. And that's still, you know, what we're very conscious of, even in terms of Lex Luthor and his gang.
This is very Gene Hackman.
And Kitty, as extravagant as she'll be in muted as she can be. She'll be in muted colors. And then here's for maybe, like, be on deck with a matching captain's hat. You know, like with a matching.
I just don't want it to be
no, come on, it's gonna
cartoon.
Be great. What? Cartoon?
No, I don't want, yeah.
Elegant. Au contraire. What are you talking about? This is. Come on, every girl wants this. What we're trying to do is bring in like a little bit of the 30s, a little bit of the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, all the decades when Superman's kind of been important, an important superhero to us. We're trying to incorporate a little bit of that into the clothes and into the costumes. You can't please everyone, and I think there will be people who are real superhero fans who will not like the size of the S, and they won't like the size of the trunks, and they won't like the cape, how long it is, or how, you know, I mean, there'll be, I'm sure, a million criticisms of this costume. At some point, you have to deal with the body that you were given. We must have tried 20 different styles, and this was what looked best on him. So you have to just think about making your Superman the best Superman he can be.
I said, are you afraid of the Superman curse? And Brandon said, I said, Brandon, nothing I say to you is going to make you not accept this role, but what happens if you accept the role and then there's a Superman curse and you're either injured or killed or something happens to you? And he says, well, the way I look at it is I could not accept the role and something terrible could still happen to me and then I will not have been Superman, so best accept the role. I thought that was kind of clever. This is Brian Singer here on the set of Superman Returns. We're actually on the lot down in Sydney, Australia. We've leased the studio in its entirety, so we occupy about 7 sound stages. And in fact, some of our sets, as you can see, are quite large. Superman has become a kind of a global operation, not just the United States and Australia, but we've got people working on it from all over the world. And God, it's quite a production, largest thing I've ever been involved in. It sort of combines the scope of what's possible today with a Superman character, technology, scale. We're using the new Genesis cameras, which will, the idea is, and so far we've been successful with, is creating an image that that will be a modern image, something with more clarity, more resolution, but at the same time have a classic romantic quality.
In the film, emulsion is made up of basically only 0 and 1, but in a lot of different configurations, most of which have not been recorded yet. The Apocalypse and the Exodus are coming later. They've done this in conjunction with Sony, who's made the deck. And there's a big CCD in there, bigger than in there, inside there, which is the only real difference between what I do and what you do. And I have a bigger crew.
It's interesting. We have so many oh, well, who are these people? Look, let's look.
Hey, Brian, how's it going?
That's our AD and our producer. So I hope you all enjoy whatever it is they have to show you, and I hope it's interesting. I'm sure it's all disjointed and out of whack. Okay, it'll be exciting, it'll be tight and interesting and big and big. I think the key word is big.
As you all know, we're going to start shooting in Tamworth. We shoot in Tamworth for 10 days, and then the intent is to travel home on Thursday, the 24th.
We're going to have a rare opportunity. Our pilots are going to buzz the set at a very low altitude in a jet. They read magazines. I choose to read safety information. You found it. 200 hectares of corn. It doesn't look like a lot from up here, but it's a lot of corn down there. The cornfield, and then the Ken farm, and then the spaceship. It's 3 separate camps. After sitting with Tom and watching the digital material, I feel more confident that this will be at least the most visually stunning film that I've been involved with. The film is about Americana and the sweeping nature of it. He's a sweeping hero, and it should be a sweeping-looking film, or shall we say, digital film, movie. All right, enough playing around with the jet. Now we're gonna get back to work.
When we do get home, if we come home a little early, we'll walk through the stages just so we take a look at what we got.
We have thousands of people working for us. We have about 150 in construction. We have about 45 in the art department in Sydney alone. We have a huge set decorating department, props department. We'll start with my favorite department, the workshop. This is where 80% of all the sets are put together.
We get issued a set of plans, approved sets of plans that have been stamped and issued to each department, and from there we take the plans and we break them up into their components, and we get a number of carpenters and model makers to work off these plans. Right now we're building the Gertrude, which is the boat. So we're starting to set that up now, and we're starting to look at actually getting the windows, and that's when the perspex comes in for all the glazing and stuff like that, and we'll start seeing some shapes. And then over here we've got the bridge.
Usually Bryan Singer doesn't see the sets at this phase because he doesn't need to. This is the very secret phase where we basically start to put these sets together by very, very basic pieces of wood, basic construction. So it's a very interesting insight as to how we go about putting these things together.
We are standing in the plaza of the Daily Planet newspaper. So as you can see, the set extends about 50, 60 feet up. It also goes back into a rear lobby. And then on the other stage, we actually have the interior of the Daily Planet, which is quite a set. This is the exterior. It faces out to a street and connects with the city. And then we have an interior lobby. Everywhere we've got these emblems, murals. It's very, very deco. If you notice, the set was so big, we had to build it between 2 massive sound stages.
I came to Australia in January, and then the cast started falling into place pretty quickly, and we've been going, working from here since then, and been very busy. Everyone you see in the movie has had a fitting, except for the the big crowd scenes, the huge crowd scenes, where we fit like people who are going to be closest to camera. We didn't fit all 1,500 of them. There's so much vintage, and there's so much kind of reference to past decades anyway in modern fashion. You can have a wonderful mix, have it look timeless and classic, and yet have lots of references to past decades.
I love it. I'm just.
It's very Valerie
showing off to her.
Here's some, not all of, I guess these are all the capes. Water capes,
I'm just getting this
muscle suits, stunt. Here we've got these stunt capes, rig capes, you know. There's a lot of them, and they're not all here. So over here are, all his suits. His suits have to be folded up like this. See how they come? That's a little superhero. That's a Superman suit right there. Just that. Here's what one of those muscle suits looks like.
Yeah,
Isn't
it's
that
not a lot
interesting?
of padding.
No, it's just a bit, it's hardly anything. Just a bit. If you're a specialty costumer in LA, you want to work on this film, you want to work on Superman, And the other thing is they've been trying to make Superman for so long that they were all, the fact that it really looked like this time it was going to happen was thrilling to everyone,
Louise and I spent a lot of time together talking about colours and textures and what kind of feel she was bringing with the costumes, and so we tried to integrate that with the hair and makeup. Because Tom likes everything really matte, I feel that everybody looks a little made up. But then again, we can probably get away with it because it is kind of a comic book, cartoonish, non-reality, reality kind of movie. Some actors really love the attention and other actors really hate it, and like Parker Posey, would be scratching her own eyebrows on, and I'd go to fix them and she'd be like, I've done 20 movies, I know how to do my eyebrows. And other people just lie there and are completely immersed in the whole makeup thing. There's Kate and Shane, and Kate's just had her wig put on.
It's a really expensive wig. It has a lace front on it, which means like each hair's put in like one by one, all across the hairline, and then the leftover lace which comes onto Kate's forehead gets glued down, so it just kind of blends in with her skin. The thing is, with a wig, you have continuity. Like you don't have to keep coloring Kate's hair. The wig's never going to grow. It's never going to get shorter. It's going to, be the same.
Why do you not like my face? Is it just...
No. It's weird for me to see you with like long hair. Do I like, oh yeah, I'm covering it up. Oh, it's terrible. No, not at all.
I mean, that's the whole thing about filmmaking. It's helping create an illusion.
I guess it's just the whole act of putting on a wig and the makeup and the clothes. You feel like you're putting on different layers of a person in a way.
So how do you feel about the whole makeup thing? Can you give us from an actor's perspective?
Well, it's really, I'm lucky because I get to come in like at 3 in the morning and I just can go to sleep because I have, 4.5, 5 hours makeup. This is all prosthetics. And the wig hasn't even, that's a whole other thing, but.
Now, Shane, discuss the wig that we have going on here.
The wig we've got, this one?
Yeah. Not on yet.
It's a very natural hairline. We've gone for the natural approach on this one.
This is not stress.
And it's also, we wanted a really natural colour as well.
Because I'm brunette. You should see it when it's glued on and pinned and everything. But it's still early.
And Brian didn't know that was a wig either. So we're fairly successful with that one. Georgia is looking after Brandon's hair and has perfected the Kenny curl, that we call it.
Now, why is it called the Kenny curl?
Well, we thought he just should have a name.
And
Neil.
This is his chair.
This is his chair?
Oh, that's funny.
Wait, what?
It's the curls, Kenny's chair.
The curl is a part of Brandon's hair. We toyed originally with perhaps having a
a curl that was made on lace, which we actually did have made.
That's our sort of stunt curl.
This is kind of
This is the
Kenny stand-in, stunt double.
And that's our sort of
Anyway, so this is the curl, which we haven't actually ever used. So basically, the lace would just be cut from the edge, and it would be applied like a lace front wig type procedure. But we fortunately haven't had to use it. It's really just something that's kind of on standby.
Tammy Lane is doing Brandon's makeup.
For most of my career, I've done prosthetics and creatures, and my friends are giving me a hard time that I'm doing straight makeup, but I still tell them I'm still doing an alien, so.
Brian, he knows what he likes when he sees it, and so, you know, sometimes you have to show him a few variations. But, you know, I think we've been pretty lucky. I mean, I think most of what we've given Brian, he's liked and received really well. You know, working in makeup can be really emotional too, because you're dealing with the actors, you know, so you're getting their deal as well as, you know, because we're working in such a small environment, and so it is really important to be able to get on and you know, understand what's happening with everybody.
So you have to be kind of there's an element of psychiatry then in your job. You have to be sort of a mother confessor / analyst.
Mm-hmm. Makeup artist, doctor, you know, you name it.
I always say to them that I feel so happy I get to start the day in this room because they're all so wonderful. Really.
I know it's hard to point cameras at actors who aren't fully made up yet.
Right
there. Now get out!
Is that Beauty and the Beast?
Get out! My face isn't on. It's just a very layered, intricate, elaborate Halloween party, really. Oh, it is.
Just like to just say a couple of things. One, I have a strange process of working. I change my mind a lot, and sometimes I get a little weird. Usually with my, you know, coworkers. So the extensions will start here, and then perhaps a little there. Or will this whole ball be virtual? No, the ball doesn't rotate, simply the words, so therefore we're okay there.
Well, the ball is all being made by visual effects.
The whole ball? It's not directed at crew, a cast, or anything like that. It's usually me frustrated because I can't figure out what I want. I think that's stupid. I think some of the ball should be made by you. The lower part of the ball should be made by you.
I think.
Oh my God! Yes, it has to be. You know, if I'm barking at them or yelling or screaming at them, it has nothing to do with anybody or any person. It means no disrespect. No, that's what you always said. Liar! You said from here down.
One plan will actually be to only build half of the dome, so that we can drop China balls into it to give the impression of the light source that you get from this, without actually having to build the entire dome. We had budget meetings.
You got to tell me when these changes happen. You have to tell me. So there's that, but I become more mellow over the years. So I'm told.
No, Brian, this happened.
When it happens, you gotta come to my office and say, by the way, I'm cutting one of your balls. In this case, the only one. Whether it's construction or stunts or anything, or lighting a cigarette, the key thing is safety. However long it takes, if it cuts into this, if I lose a day, I really don't care. In the end, you're the boss of all that. Been a long history of flight in movies, or trying to make people fly for a film, and obviously this film, we need to break some new ground in that area. Certain kind of rigs have been developed, large 4-point rigs that can enable an actor to fly simultaneously with a camera. We're developing ways that enable us to make him more mobile, make him able to rotate 180 degrees, turn in midair, and each scene will require probably a completely different piece of equipment.
Good. Allow the torso to float. See a little bit of a boom, boom. Yes. Allow it to float. Allow your back body here.
Terry Notary, he was a great help with all the physicalities of Superman and how he was to fly and the choreography of flying and the movements. We built a repertoire of different turning techniques and takeoffs and landings and that kind of thing, so that when it came time to showing Brian or Brian deciding what he'd like to see, you know, we'd already had this library of ideas that he could choose from.
I did a lot of different characters in circus and Cirque du Soleil, and it's just kind of incorporating those techniques into finding a character, helping actors develop a character, and seeing what attributes they have and bringing those out, you know, instead of trying to putting on a costume, allowing the person to bring out what's the strengths in them and let the character develop that way like it should. So. Movement will evoke emotion, and emotion will evoke movement. And that's what moves an audience. That's why just having that presence, that strength from within, that's soft exterior, strong interior, it's what makes Superman so strong and so appealing. He's not this hulking, muscle-bound, flexing guy. He's strong from inside. Wow, yeah, that's it. He's going to have to obviously be doing a lot of flying, and he has a lot of good strengths from swimming, which we're coming in real handy. Is trying to incorporate a lot of the underwater type flying that he's used to, bringing it into the atmosphere. Feeling the water as he was turning. He did this beautiful turn yesterday where he pushed off the wall and reached out, and his chest came forward, and he stopped and hovered, and it was like, if we can emulate that, that would be amazing.
You can move in a I'm a tough way,
yeah,
but it doesn't come off as, it comes off as fake if you don't really have that, not I'm a tough feeling, but if you're not connected to your body, like connected to emotions.
The whole reason for the training, the 2 months of training that we have before we start filming, is so that he can forget everything that he's learned and just let these good habits come with him as an actor to the set. What seems to work is if you let the cable start to pull you, then you ride, then you move with your choreography so that it's seamless. That way he can just play and just be the character and let these things just come through him that he's been practicing and thinking about and analyzing, and so that all the analyzing and watching of himself goes away when he's on the set. With Superman, he's expanded in the sense of all of his awareness of his senses are completely, you know, tenfold what ours are. So it's sort of like discovering what it feels like to hear, listen, to feel again, you know, with your whole body.
Flying is the closest one you can actually come to, because I can be in a pool and I can feel when I'm thinking that I'm flying, which you can kind of make yourself imagine that I'm flying, that I'm stopping in midair. You can actually do that.
3, 2, 1, go!
In my world, there's three kinds of painters. There are the paint foremen and the people who do the large areas of paint work and cover large sets very, very quickly. There are detail painters, people who basically detail props, detail sets, age them, give them some character.
Just aging down the set, making this bronze look like it's old bronze.
And is there a special technique?
Water and paint. That's all I can tell you.
My team have gathered every conceivable sample of glass, stone, wood finishes, plastic finishes, metal finishes, all the things that all the illustrations and models that you're looking at are ultimately going to be made of. And a set, in my opinion, could be made or broken by your choices of material.
These are some of the things that we do when the boys have done to simulate wood grain. So again, this has been painted onto a plain board. And we do all these samples, these are all done here, and then they're sent up for Guy to approve, and then he chooses a number of different timbers that we're using, and then that becomes the benchmark for the rest of the set.
For example, we have samples of granite and samples of marble floors. Now, needless to say, we probably can't afford to use pure granite for our floors in the Daily Planet lobby. But what we can do is say, okay, this is the kind of finish we want. How can we achieve this in paint?
And in actual fact, we usually have to paint it because although we're, doing palisander or walnut or whatever it is, it's sort of something that it has to be heightened slightly to make it work.
Then there are the painters who also do specific pieces of artwork for set decorations.
I think there are about 28 for the mansion, Vanderwerf Mansion, and there's possibly another 8 or 9 dog portraits for the boat.
How does it go in the...
Just go.
Really?
Hold
It's
your
going to be
ears.
loud. No, I don't want to do it. It's too loud. It's cool. Will the wheel turn?
Oh, yeah.
Good. These are cool, too. These are really nice.
It's going to look good. Pretty excited.
Make it rain.
You can see we have a large green screen around. This will be replaced by turbulent seas and stormy skies. We've obviously dressed the area around the windows. That enables Tom and Brian to be able to shoot from the outside in, almost the storm's point of view of our actors as they're dealing with this very hostile environment and weather conditions. If you look underneath here, you can see that we actually have the entire set supported on a single column running down the center, and you can see that the steelwork, which has all been hand welded here, actually spans off in 2 triangular shapes on either side, basically turning the set into a giant seesaw.
Whoa! Jesus.
That's awesome.
That's what you need more of, right, Neil?
Yeah, we need
feel
more
like it's
spin
coming
hard.
at.
In the rehearsal, do it gently, and then on the day when we're shooting it, goose it up. Always crank it up.
Yep.
There's no impression like a first impression.
Okay.
Cool.
One thing, wardrobe, has Brian seen, I know he's seen the wardrobe for in the shuttles and all that, but has he seen the actors that we're using in those wardrobe pieces?
Shuttle?
Yeah.
No, they're not cast. The actors, the shuttle commander.
We should get Richard Branson as one of the shuttle commander. Right to go. Hello? Fine, thanks. How are you? Great, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. First of all, I want to say I'm a huge fan of yours and everything you've done, and specifically involved in commercial space travel, and which is part of why I'm calling you. I don't know how much anyone's told you about what it is I'm doing, what it is we're doing with this film, or why I'm contacting you. The more I know of what you're doing, and the more I see space travel evolving, I see that I just thought, and the difficulty in, in the NASA process, I thought I should at least introduce the idea, particularly if you were in the neighborhood, I'd at least introduce the idea of what we're doing. This set will be actually inverted, and so will the The interior, we also have the largest gimbal in the world for all the passengers in the jet that's underneath you, which will be rolling them and rocking them at enormous, so they'll have to be stunned people except for like Cade and other people. So that's they're beneath you, and then they're in the shuttle cockpit, which is on a gimbal actually, which we'll show you right away. Brilliant. This is it.
Wow.
And I was going to put you guys here, and maybe put you here, Sam, and there, and then I can shoot this way and that. I know that we'll be tearing it in half in one moment. We'll just be shooting. We've witnessed it before. And then there'll be different modes where we'll take it through disaster. And I can shake this thing pretty violently. I won't while you're in it, but I just want to make sure your backs were all right. We'll do it tomorrow in the morning. Okay. And if you think so, unless you want to. Too much rehearsal is not a good thing for a natural event. So let's just do them. Yeah, and we're going to go through a few key lines, and then I may just have you say just a bunch of other in rotation, just so I have it. And, great. Okay, well, have fun. See you later.
Yeah, love you.
Great. See you, and thanks so much for helping with the stunt.
Thank you so much.
All right. That's awesome. Chris, you gonna?
I walked them out.
Okay. I would say, in terms of stunt people, you might want the pilots of the aircraft, of the 777, to be stunt people, because a lot of violent things are going to be happening, and members of the press should be stunt people, except for Lois.
I feel like I have this theme in my life in terms of water and stunts. Seems to be an ongoing theme in my career. It was a lot of physical work, which I enjoyed, actually. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Well, it's a big day for all the special effects crew, the entire art department and construction. Very big day. It's one of those wow moments. We have an enormous crane here, very, very powerful crane, and we're going to be lifting the 777 onto the giant gimbal that's been constructed here over about, I believe, 8 weeks. So when you think about how far we've come since we played around with the X-Jet on X-Men 2, this is the same principle. It's just everything is so much bigger.
So why don't you tell us, before we go up there, what are we doing right now?
We are blocking out sequences that will take place inside of the Boeing 777. And Lois Lane is sitting initially, I imagine, here, behind the guy from the post, or in front of the guy from the post. Maybe out here, an aisle seat.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
So when the boosters hit, Bobby's here. We'll have her fly, kind of bouncing off that seat in front of Lois. There's a, gives you a good reason to stay with Lois for a second. That she peels out of the shot.
And then she.
Yeah, and it's like I think it's probably 2 cuts together there, because I think is one continuous thing. And it really depends on the wire rehearsals.
It should be like boom and then boom very quickly.
Yeah.
An object should knock her.
2, 1, go.
3, 2, 1, go!
She's here, and you could have her hunkered down, and and losing it right here. And you got all these windows, so it's like she could be looking out, from right here, hanging on, and doing the same.
But my problem with that is, for the landing, she couldn't be there.
No. We get her out.
Go.
I really want the audience to understand that they never really, I want that they never really left the atmosphere.
Right.
That the actual zero gravity is caused by a free fall. And then that's why everything just goes wham to one side of the plane, and then you're like, oh, it's not.
Right.
I mean, some people might think it went to space and they'll argue about it, but the reality is that if you do a stall on a plane, everything, and everything floats.
I think you're trauma.
Brian, we've in the hospital with the pads. We talked at one point about a chest piece, and we talked about not having a chest piece.
All right, this is a big deal.
What do we want to do with that?
I have never seen Brandon with a shirt off. By the time, I don't know what he's going to look like by the time we do this shot, but at this final scene, they're going to pull his suit down off him and expose his chest. I don't know what it is. I'm looking over to the costume department. Louise, where are you buried?
Yeah.
So we'll see where it's at. You can talk about it.
He has to, on his own with his trainer now, maintain what he has done, but he can't go any further, or he won't have a suit to do.
Okay, and Mike knows that. His trainer knows that.
This morning about it.
To discuss it. Okay, great.
We're going to show you a few exercises that Brandon does as part of his training routine. You shouldn't perform this at home without supervision. That's a joke. So good. And breathing. Good, good, good. Right now he's really starting to burn, aren't you?
And the chicks go crazy.
He's got supreme definition through his bicep, tricep. He's freaky.
And there's a whole emotional thing that goes into it too, because you feel great, you feel powerful. Physically, I know that my presence is there, even though the suit is covering it. So it's kind of like playing a secret all the time, which I always am anyway, because I'm Superman.
4 days a week for how many months?
By the time we finish, it'll be a year. It doesn't really get any easier, no matter how much you weigh.
It's not about how much you lift, it's how good you look.
It's how good you look in the suit. Yeah.
I want to keep seeing series of tests. The closer we get, don't be shy about throwing him in that suit again and again and again and again, just to make sure on the day it's perfect.
My first experience with seeing Brandon in the suit was, I felt like it was some kind of secret operation or something, because there hadn't been any press release yet of what the suit looked like, and so it was all very hush-hush.
3, 2, 1. That's great.
It was amazing to see him in the suit, because Brandon assumes such a different personality and such a different posture as Superman, which is really cool to see as well.
That'll be Superman. Let's go talk to Superman.
You're a week away.
Yeah.
A week away from becoming Kal-El for real.
Dork. Dork.
Yes.
And
I've been waiting for this for a year. I figured out the other day it's been about a year process for me from the day we actually start filming. Anyway, I'm very excited. I am a betting man every once in a while, but there's no need to bet because it's all happening.
We are going to the town of Tamworth.
We're going to Tamworth to shoot the beginning of Superman.
We're going to go work. We're finally getting on a plane. We're going to probably get a shot off tonight.
And I get to feel the progress from moving from home throughout the rest of the film.
And we just got a telegram from John Peters.
Sent this telegram to us wishing us good luck.
Dear Dan, you guys have created great magic. Good luck on our movie. Love, John Peters.
P.S. Call me later.
I was feeling really guilty of the fact that we were shooting this in Tamworth in Australia, because because I had assumed that Richard Donner shot the original one in Kansas or something like that, and then I found out they actually shot it in Alberta, Canada. Chris, do we have a break? Changing hats for the Tamworth Heat. This is our corn. Welcome to corn. Took a long time to grow this corn. Guy Dias is very proud of it.
first day of the shoot. How could I not feel anything but terrific? It's a great day. It's a beautiful day. Getting our shots. Fantastic.
Don't look down. Now look down, like, huh?
I'm Stephen Bender, and I'm young Clark Kent, and just learning how to fly.
Get ready and go! Don't put your hands like that, though. They're a little weird. Like more like that.
It was kind of hard, strength-wise, but other than that, yeah, it's quite fun.
Head down again. Okay, camera comes back.
When you were a little kid, you ever think you'd wind up here on the Kent farm being young Superman?
No, never, ever in my life. Never even thought of being an actor, actually.
Stefan, have you met? This is Eva Marie Singh. Hi. This is Stefan, who's playing Martha Kent.
Nice. So much fun. It's awesome.
These glasses.
You look so smart.
Young Clark Kent's glasses. This is the first time, yeah, Brandon Routh will work in Superman. It'll be his first shot. And it'll be very harried because we have only a 30-minute window to do it because we're shooting during Magic Hour. We've just blocked out your first shot.
Oh, yeah?
You're going to, it's very, it may be almost too complex to explain. You get to do the Brandon walk all the way across to the crane. It's not a lot of looking around and stuff. It's, you kind of look around from the porch. That's where it is.
Okay.
And then you're just.
And then stopping there or
yeah,
doing
you're gonna stop at the porch. Oh, you're gonna have a dog. Key important thing. Dog's gonna be running around you. Where's the dog person?
We do every animal, from scorpions for the Tokyo Shock Boys to lovely Labradors for Red Sun.
Dan's 3.5 years old, and he's first and foremost he's my pet, but I train him in different sorts of dog trials, and we do commercials and these other things just occasionally.
So you have 2 hours to prepare and 20 minutes to actually.
Well, we'll make sure we get it right.
So what's it like working together?
Okay.
It looks like you had that sky painted special.
Yeah, it's very nice. Very pretty.
His point of view in this flashback is what's going to cut to the visual effects shot, right?
Exactly. Can I see you in this?
Yeah.
Can I see you in this really quick?
I just hadn't had a chance to ask Brian about the coats. And this is the first time we see Superman, so it's kind of important. And I think he looks nice in his jacket. Looks like a farm boy. It's cute, huh?
How do you like your contacts?
They're okay. The color's great, but they move around a little bit in my eyes still, so the shift in the vision is a little bit blurry every once in a while.
He needs to tear back from there and drop his food there so he keeps his mark.
What's going on? Hey! Look at them guys.
And open it up. Yep.
No, I don't want to.
Get a bit tighter. You're lagging. Stay in a straight line. Stay in a straight line. Right, now start. Is that where the feed is, roughly? Right, everyone back off now. Someone do a head count, because we'll miss one otherwise. That's fine for now. Once the shot comes up, we'll just go back and forth back in.
I'm very blessed to actually have the house instead of just a set. Because it really is going to make a difference. It already has. In just how I feel about it. Much more comfortable. It's pretty awesome, actually. It's going to make the acting much easier because I won't have to imagine. There'll be plenty of stuff I'll have to imagine happening on green screen. So it's nice at this early stage to have to get everything put in place.
Whose white car or silver car is that? Whatever that
It needs to go, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So good. We're ready to start. Fence there. Well, that's good.
Does he know where he's going to start?
You don't like the chickens there? Well, they're going to run. They keep trying to go. Okay. Okay.
Speed. 29 take 1 aim up. Okay, rolling. Where we go. Set. Brian, you right?
Yep. And action. Cut. Oh, Jesus. Is he okay? Oh, no. Oh.
This is the Kryptonian barbecue scene.
It's, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're getting ready to set a shot where Eva Marie Saint comes in and comes walking along all this fiery mess, fiery debris, and finds a surprise.
When Miss Saint got to set, she said it best. She said, "It's just awesome." She says, "Listen, everybody's really quiet because it's so awesome. It's like inspiring." And she's right.
This is fun. It's like a big play set. It's like when I was a kid, Rob Shell and I built a spaceship for our 8mm movie many years ago, and now we have this spaceship.
We had a pretty serious budget meeting, and this set was all but cut from my budget, and it was going to be completely CG at one point. We were only going to build the actual nose cap, which you see up here, which has an entranceway in it, which is probably about 3 meters worth of set. There's not a lot to it really, but this actually just suggests the entranceway to the pod, or rather the escape route. It's actually kind of very scary how fake it looks close up, but I'm really keeping my fingers crossed the way Tom shoots it. Brian's brilliant compositions tonight. He's really done I don't know, he's on fire today, I have to say.
Let's go for a walk.
And then tomorrow when we do the reverse, we'll pick up the last little bit.
Eventually you're gonna climb that. Oh, I totally am gonna go up there.
What?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
He is actually going to double for you tomorrow.
Hi, Ed.
You start making your way up to it, and then he's going to put his hand on your shoulder and then fall into your arms down there. So you'll never have to climb up this
Thank
lava.
God. Thank God.
I had 40 fits when Brian said, no, Guy, the whole ship's got to glow. I just had no idea how we were going to do that. Obviously in areas we've left the paint away so that when we light it from within, you can see through the fiberglass, giving the impression of this thing glowing, rather like one of those old-fashioned electric fireplaces where you had the imitation logs that used to glow and look orange. It's exactly the same technique. There's some light scenic work on the fiberglass to break it up and diffuse the light, and you can see these large deposits over the top, nothing but foam. It's incredibly lightweight. I also want to say that I think the special effects team have done an absolutely incredible job with helping this set. A lot of the fire you can see here, they've actually used nothing but just fire logs that you can buy at a regular store, and also they've put a lot of smoke into the set, and some of the larger areas of flames are actually piped in gas, so it enhances the look of this set.
I'm using the flaming wreckage of the ship to stay warm.
The steel structure spans right to the tail and about 3 meters into the ground on either side, forming a very structurally strong triangle. And these spire-like objects running up at about 35-40 degrees to each other are actually the main sort of, if you like, balancing structures. There are only 3 of them left. The other 4 have been knocked off in the drag of the ship coming to this point where it's crashed and landed to a standstill.
Okay, let's shoot.
It's an exciting moment in the movie. It's the first time we're seeing Superman in an outfit. Not necessarily the Superman outfit, but an outfit that depicts what Superman is all about.
That's my boy. Oh my God almighty. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Oh, baby, that's Mama.
She said he's like, I love Brandon. He's like Gregory Peck. this, and then it's like falling.
Then you can go, then you can twist.
And then you can twist down and then fall into that. I have a coffee, but otherwise my arm would come down. But I think it'd fall like almost on top of her.
So maybe if you let go of the back here.
Where's your end position?
Back here.
Yeah. And then you sit down. And that's something like where we want to be. I didn't want to use the full Superman costume because once he leaves, in my mind, once he leaves the power and the energy of the yellow sun, he no longer is Superman. He no longer has those powers. He requires the ship and its boundaries and its technology to travel him and protect him. And so it requires a different uniform. We'll do one more this time. Brandon, don't reach out so much like a zombie like this kind of thing. It's a little horror film. Just kind of come up behind her and just. She's like, oh my God.
Closer to her then.
Yeah, get up. Yeah,
I'm
walk
afraid I'm
closer.
gonna run into her if I'm gonna fall into her too much, but I'll make it work.
Okay.
I will.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, it's looking good.
This is a flashback scene.
We didn't have a flashback as part of this movie, and we wanted to somehow incorporate like young Clark stuff, but we didn't want to tell an origin story.
What we wanted to show was that when he landed, he didn't just show up on Earth as Superman, because there are people who don't understand Superman's history, so we got to show that.
It came to me that we should just do this whole running and learning how to fly thing as a flashback.
And should give people something that they haven't seen in the previous films, which is him discovering his abilities for the first time.
Today we're gonna fly Stefan, our wonderful actor's playing young Clark, through the cornfield. He's gonna be jumping up and down. We're not gonna fly. No flying, no actual flying, just jumping. We have to be very clear about making the distinction between flying and jumping. So he'll be jumping.
How do you like flying on this rig?
That's awesome. It's like I'm jumping. Yeah.
One last thing. For the last high jump, for the last jump, then as you're at your high point, step out with your foot.
Step out, okay.
Yeah, step out with it. So you're holding your what I call the ballet pose, but then you kind of that one, because it's so high, then bring the other foot out and stretch it out like you're reaching out to
the ground. Okay.
The ground.
Yeah, that was a great number 2.
He has taken on a lot of critiquing, and it's a lot of work and a lot of things going on, so he's doing really great. He's not a stunt man, he's an actor, so this is a pretty big stunt for him.
All right, here we go. Camera speeding. Set. Take it away, Hammer. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, we always knew he was an angel and that he would be able to fly. So this just verifies it, validates it, and since he's from the Midwest, to fly in a cornfield is right on.
I'm Dave Schultz. I make these things. Well, it picks people up or cameras up and down, basically flying machine for wire rigs. It hasn't been done quite like this, though. This is more a high-speed kind of stunt flying.
So number 1, like almost falling off, and you got to go like this, and you got to stand up, put them back on, and then literally look out. Look out over that field for a sec. You know, look out over there for a moment, and then turn around and look back at the farm.
What'd you think of today?
Oh, it's great. This is great. Long day, but it's great. Congratulations. You rocked.
Why am I doing this right now? Because we're going to be doing a lot of flying in this movie, and on every movie we have a new rig. I always go up in it just so I know how it feels.
Yeah, Brian, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, this is like 15 things you have to think about.
I can't.
Oh, well.
I can't hear you.
I hope he kills himself.
I know. All right, that's lunch.
Go, Brian, go! Faster!
There you go. Oh, nice.
That was cool. That was really cool, especially to get up over the cornfield. It just felt like flying, like very liberating, except very constricting on the chest. It's also good for me to sort of get a sense of how these harnesses feel, how these fly rigs feel. So I'm directing Brandon for the rest of the year. I'll know, I'll know how much it hurts.
Just been joined by some of our stars who haven't been in these scenes but wanted to see our sets on our last day here, including Kate Bosworth and Parker Posey.
Hello, how are you?
Oh my gosh.
Pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming out. It's the first time we've met. Parker Posey, Stephen Marie Sand.
You're so good.
And Parker Posey was very funny. It's very rare that I'll cast somebody without meeting them, and that's the first time I've ever cast someone without even speaking to them on the phone. I just love her work. So in the first meeting, she was very funny and really sweet and delightful, and will probably be really wonderful to work with. But one never knows.
A lot of planning went into this. We spent a lot of energy and a lot of time scheduling this out, and then we actually adhered to that schedule quite well. So I'm very pleased with the results, and I'm very pleased that we came to Tamworth.
This is the last shot of this location, the last shot of the evening, the last shot of the week, and the shot after this is in the glass.
This is it. This is our last night here. It's very moving.
Our last shot is going to be very cool. Martha Kent is going to turn the key on. She's going to gun the engine, and she's going to zoom right through a field of grass. But actually, we're going to push the truck because she can't drive it. And it's going to be really close, and you're going to just see sort of this fuzzy background going by. But when John Ottman scores it, it will be very, very exciting.
Awesome. Right. I wanted one more take.
What's it like working together?
He asked me that earlier. I already gave my answer. After working on it so much by myself, it's interesting to then have somebody else, your vision, come in and see it, and then you have such a, you were telling me things, you were directing me, but I didn't understand because I've never worked on a real film, but you were right about what you were saying, and then I realized as we were going along how right you were. You can't play everything big because then the whole thing is big.
Well, yeah,
Moments can be smaller and so on and so forth. I'm not explaining it very well.
No, I know what you mean. They're talking about the roller coaster of emotions that you can actually go through. You can actually play all those moments, and you actually have to. You have to, because to get through a scene that has so much going on in it and also has so much exposition, which you're trying to hide under character and stuff. I understand. No, I understand.
Basically, what I mean is that you know he knows what he's doing.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. It's nice to hear it face to face. It's been a pleasure working with Brandon. It just has. It will continue to be. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting back to Sydney.
For 106.
You want to know how distracting it is having a ton of people watching you act.
For me, well, this scene isn't stressful for me because it helps me actually. Because there's supposed to be 10,000, 20,000 people around, so for me, it's like gets my adrenaline going. I don't know, but in general, I don't know. I sort of tune it up.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would help if half of them weren't from my fan club.
Crowd sequences are the big test of the first AD and his team. That's their directorial palette. I don't really direct the background. I desire the background, specifically tell them what I want for the background, but I don't actually communicate.
The great thing was we were setting up a scene that had crowd control in it and the cops, and we had all of our cops, but these background were great. They were fantastic to work with. They were quiet, which they hardly ever are, and everybody was just happy to be here, and it makes our job just that much easier.
We have cops, we have firemen, we have police, we have ambulances. If you take a look at the building behind us, it's about 12 floors, and all of the people who occupy those offices had to be contacted, and we had to let them know what we're doing because we don't want them hanging out the window, we don't want them putting flags out the window. We just need to do what we want to do in this location. So the coordination is immense.
We had something like 1,400 extras, and I think we made up about 600 of them. You know, like maybe a bit of sunblock, maybe a bit of lipstick, powder, a bit of a zhuzh on the hairdo. Plus the actors, Kate and James and Jimmy and Martha, Eva Marie Saint.
Once that's done, then we bring them in and place them and give them specific direction.
I mean, it's only 2 days of shooting, but it's probably taken us 3 months since we started prepping this. And I must say the people of Sydney have been extremely helpful and respectful of what we want to do and how we want to do it.
We had to shut down a stop on the subway, which shuts down this whole area. My mom and her friend Anita showed up, and I showed them the magic of movies. I took them into the hospital lobby and then took them through the lobby into the back of the hospital, which is actually a closed subway station, which goes way down to the ground. This is real. You're not understanding, Mom.
This is the underground.
That's a hospital lobby. This is a real subway station, which we have shut down. As you can see, if you went down there, you'd see a whole mall.
You bought the subway station.
You know something? And you just thought he was a kid, a punk kid, you know?
Well, I still think he's a kid.
We hope they're not too pissed off, and Sydney's a great place.
I mean, this is what I love to do. I love to come out and work with the background rather than be in the stage and do that. I mean, I love that too, but this is really what I live for and why I do what I do, you know, so it's great.
So Tom, let's decide where this is going to be. I have Kate. I'm going to have you turn it later. I'm actually going to make this a longer shot. Okay. The way we did it, we had a Steadicam actually run with Lois Lane and the child, and then step onto a crane and actually lift the operator into the air. And then I went up and previewed it, checked it out with it's called a finder lens. Just looked at the shot myself.
Brian, do you want to see the banners and things? Because it really brings it to life. It's so flat with these banners. And we have a series of pictures.
That might help Tom.
It's going to help huge.
Okay.
Huge.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, yes. That's a good pile over there. Brian, that one over there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything with his picture on it, just immediately.
Immediately there's a picture. No, look, Brian. Brian.
A picture that doesn't even exist.
Brian.
Beyond my upper end.
I'm trying to do my best. I've got everything covered. Yeah. Just say yes or no, and if
I can't do this. Turn the camera off.
In today's environment, you never know who the crowds are. You never know who's out there.
Who's the guy in the hot dog costume? He's not supposed to come in until the sequel.
We were here scouting last week. The guy was here selling hot dogs. I thought he looked great. And Brian will either like it or hate it. So this could be the only time we see him in the film, which is in the DVD special. He's a lot of fun. I like him. I think it's cute. And I think that's what would happen is you have a crowd of people here, but we'll see.
None for me.
Miss Lane. He's a strong boy.
Right this way, Miss Lane. Watch out, make a hole. Watch your step. Thank you. Make a hole. Thank you very much. Watch out. Thank you. Watch out.
It's a cut. I think we had a good day. And look, here they all are. Clearly, we've tired them out. Shot 15 days. We're on schedule 15 days. Tamworth was a 10-day schedule, which was like its own little movie in Kansas with Toto and Dan the dog and the chickens. And here, when we've been back in Sydney, and then we came to the hospital. And since we've come to the hospital, these last 2 days actually did seem like it was its own little movie.
So I'm always very nervous about any of our cast, even our crew, but certainly our director, you know, mingling out there. We just want to make sure he's safe, and here in Sydney, it was very safe and it worked out very well. So I was very, very pleased.
It's great to wrap it up and move on to the next segment. And I think next for me will be The Daily Planet. That's like, it will be its own movie in itself as well. So looking forward to that.
7 months ago, you had me film the scene you're about to embark on.
The screen test, yeah.
As the screen test.
One of the scenes was the Daily Planet Plaza, and the other scene was the Daily Planet rooftop.
These scenes are special because these were the scenes that I used to screen test Brandon and ultimately show to Warner Brothers to get them excited about Brandon being Superman. Action! Breaks frame. It's a very heavy camera. You're gonna watch it, use it today, and he's gonna stick it in a
That's
escalator, revolving door. This is weird. Why does it only have why doesn't it have an extra door?
That's where the Steadicam goes.
Steadicam friendly.
Yeah, Steadicam friendly revolving door.
Lois?
Oh, hey, Clark. How's your first week back at work?
That's okay. You know, kind of like riding a bike, I guess.
Okay, a bike?
Sorry. Yeah, you know, never mind. But I was thinking, since I've gotten back, we haven't really had a chance to catch up, and I thought that if you'd like to, we could grab it.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Have you ever been in love? Or at least, have you ever met someone and it's almost like you're from totally different worlds, but you share such a strong connection that you knew you were destined to be with each other? And then he just takes off without explaining why or without even saying goodbye? Sounds cheesy, I know. Taxi!
Okay, I'm sorry. Why the... Keep going. That's just... I'm never gonna act. We're gonna cut because I want to. That's a novel idea.
This is how we start our day with our breakfast burrito ritual.
Ignore them. The lighting on this set sometimes makes me feel like Martin Sheen in that hotel room in Apocalypse Now.
This is my father, Dave, and my friend Myra. You don't work in the Daily Planet. You work in a mortgage company that's just above the Daily Planet.
Okay, I remember
or you work at a company that's just below the Daily Planet, and you get on and get off. Actually, that's probably better.
Ready to go again. You ready to go again?
Let's do it. Okay, everybody, listen up. I want to know it all, everything. Olson, I want to see photos of him. No, I want the photo.
Today is really about me. And the following couple weeks are really just kind of me.
And then he turns around to the room and addresses everybody and says, this goes for everybody.
I haven't read the script, so I don't really know what the rest of the film is about. I just know it's a lot of me. I think there's somebody in some kind of leotard, which sounds...
A guy Dias wants to become an American citizen, so this is his citizenship application, which has been accepted, but unfortunately he has to fly back on the 19th, which is the first day in the pod, in the crystal ship, in Superman's ship. So I'm giving Guy a choice. It's either crystal ship or citizenship. And action. Action. Yeah, you think the door opens in, so just try to open the door in, and it's not working, and it's just... Oh, that's cool.
I like all the Clark stuff.
Yeah, Will.
All the happy Clark stuff. That's a lot of fun to do. The scene meeting Jason for the first time. Jason and Richard and Lois as Clark for the first time.
Who are you?
I'm Clark. Ken. An old friend of your mom's from before you were born.
Really? She never mentioned you.
Never?
We have a terrific young actor named Tristan LeBoux, who Brian cast out of Los Angeles. And part of his audition was we had to see if he could swim. And that's when we put him in the hotel pool at the Mondrian.
He knows what he's doing. He goes on there. He's so confident. He's so laid back. He knows, but I don't know. It blows me away. Blows me away.
Did you think that you were destined to be in a Superman movie? That you knew you were going to be in a Superman movie?
He just wanted his hair in a mohawk, and he wanted it painted blue, and wanted to go to the mall, all dressed up in black, wearing a Superman necklace with a blue mohawk.
Hey Tristan, do you have a favorite superhero? Who's your favorite superhero?
Mr. Incredible.
This is Mike. Hello. Sometimes he works with me, sometimes he works with other people, and sometimes he just lays around a lot. Right now he's working with me. 3, 2, 1, applause! No, this is our first movie together. With this Mike. I have another Mike I work with, he's a writer. Mike helps me communicate. Pause, I'm sorry. Everyone, there we go. For the screens. And let's take that look again, a little not as fast. Mostly we work together in large open spaces. This time I really need, I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, just for this react. Just really need a big reaction, emotional, like hand higher, clapping. Mike's not very useful in an intimate environment. You're kind of wondering, like, why is he at this desk? Just think about that. It's just like strange. On really bad days, I look at him and it's like, it's kind of disturbing. Mike is an acrobat. Sometimes I give Mike more attention than I give to my crew. It's a problem.
This is the top of the world, looking down, an area that no one really comes to, no one sees, the actors don't see, most of our crew won't even see. We're looking down on top of the Daily Planet, and it'll give you an idea of just what went into construction of this set. Take a look. This set took 5 months to design, took 5 months to build, 4,000 man-hours. It has 3,000 lights. It has 20 miles of cabling. Lighting this set, we burn $5,000 worth of diesel a day. In addition to this exhaust system that you see here, this elaborate exhaust system, we have an air conditioning system. The heat generated here is unbelievable, to the point where my concern was not only obviously for the safety of my crew and for the cast, but just that we don't melt the set. And even with all this exhaust system and with all the air conditioning systems we have, it's still Pretty Woman that's it. The whole task is to make people comfortable so that they can concentrate on their characters, they can concentrate on the storytelling. We don't want people distracted. We don't want people thinking, oh my God, it's so hot in here, I can't wait till this take is over. That's not good movie making. So all that kind of stuff goes into the decision of how can we make it as comfortable as possible for everybody. We have an idea when we go into it, how we want to light it, and then every day gets more specific. It's like with the entire movie, it's like when you first lay out the outline for the script, and then every day as you write it, it gets more and more specific. Analogously, with the sets, even with the casting, it gets more and more clear to the director and more clear to the department heads of how they have to function and accommodate that we just created. We wanted this scope. This was a very dedicated and conscious decision that we all made. Brian's got a very clear idea of how and what he wants to do. That's what makes it so great working with somebody like him, because he has a clear vision. And our jobs are to accommodate that vision as best we can. Otherwise, what's the point?
We're here on the set of the Daily Planet roof. Again, we've come here nearing its completion, and you can see we've got nearly everything in place here. The set is finished, paint's finished. It's a big green screen set, and behind me here you're looking at the exit to the rooftop, and you can see the cylindrical element above that that is basically a giant piece of bronze. That is where the arms of the ball would attach. I desperately wanted to build it, but it just wasn't practical. But you can see above it the enormous light source that Tom Siegel's put there to simulate the lighting that you would get from a ball of that size.
Observe.
So what do you think of the set?
Honestly, I think it's extremely cool. That's not what we're going to tell Guy Dice. We're going to tell him that he was supposed to build part of the hemispherical globe on this stage.
My good friend Guy, he's the production designer, who builds all our beautiful sets. He played a trick on me. He shouldn't have done that. Where's the ball? There's a big giant ball that goes on top of the Daily Planet, and it would ordinarily be up there. Now, we didn't build that because we're going to do it as a visual effect. Never decided on that. Very expensive, a lot of work. Now we're going to tell Guy we need it. He's going to have to make that ball, and he doesn't have the time or the money to do it. So let's see how he reacts.
Put your feet on these pipings here.
There's going to be some issues for us.
What is going on?
I mean, they're doable.
What are you talking about? Are we talking about the stunt, or are we talking about the set?
I was talking about the set.
What is the final plan for the thing? For the ball?
Well, this is the set. There is no ball. We're going to
have... There's going to be like not a whole hemisphere, because I understand, but like there's going to be a structure. There's some structure that I can shoot up into.
No, this is it. Unless you say
then what am I
otherwise.
shooting up into?
CG world.
This is not what we talked about.
It's absolutely what everybody talked about.
No, it is not what we talked about.
I was under the impression that
we talked
you
about
guys had talked and
was like
changed.
less than a hemisphere as a lighting element. And my assumption was they were going to drop that thing into the set. Like that thing would be the backing that would be dropped into the set. You told me that the whole ball would reach up through the ceiling. Obviously, I understood that. I know the scale. But my assumption is we would build up something into like a third of a hemisphere, like not a hemisphere, but a third of the
No,
sphere.
it was taken away because the rooftop cost too much.
When was this? When did this happen, and who?
Okay, we had a meeting about this with
who?
Okay.
With who?
With a lot of people, including.
This is too cruel. I can't do it anymore. It's too cruel.
You are a wimp.
I'm sorry.
Siegel is a wimp.
I'm sorry. It was
payback.
You're a wimpy mastermind.
I'm sorry.
Take this through life.
Too much.
I don't know. Dude, you didn't see the look on his face when he turned around and you're going like this. He was like this. There was a conversation with
many people.
People, and he's saying people, and his eyes are just. He's trying to move his eye around the side of his head to point at you.
You don't even remember. This is payback. I told you. You got Strapper, and you stood outside the little tent, and you. Oh, now you remember. And you.
You don't get involve the director. That's
He heard about it and wanted. He volunteered.
No, but Strapper's not scary. He is. He's scary. Strapper is not
What's scary about me?
That's why it worked.
Yes, we'll put the ball in later.
The guy kept
All right, touche.
So fingers crossed.
Okay, come on. Post the
The reason this rooftop scene is so important is that, for one, it's kind of an homage to the Donner film again, in that
it's an homage with a big twist. That's what's cool about it.
You have Lois on the roof, not waiting, but Lois and Superman on a roof talking.
This is one moment that's less from our film and more as a nod to free flight and the freedom and romance and acrobatic nature of Superman.
In the original film, it was the first time she had met him, and it was their first date, and it was a big, amazing moment for her. And this is different. This is what if he had disappeared? How would she react to that? How would she feel if he had, disappeared for 5-6 years?
So it is kind of is more to convey a sense of emotion and feeling and freedom, as opposed to a moment from the film.
This shot says it all right here.
When does he fight you?
Brian, it's all about the dance.
Okay?
And they're dancing in the air. It's great.
A lot of that scene is a lot of wind blowing. We're far away, and it's hard to connect with what's happening. But those, intimate moments when we were actually close and we could see each other's eyes and really hear what each person was saying were really nice. Because that's actually the only scene that, and then a few later, but only that scene is where Superman and Lois actually talk.
It's a lot about just getting him in the wires, seeing what. It's all about working through the scene as we're shooting and seeing how they respond to each other and how their bodies look together and how their feet work.
What'll be pretty about it is not only the fact they're coming in, but the way that you see their feet. My favorite part is just he lands and then he sets her down. It's very gentlemanlike.
Is it important that Superman's a gentleman?
Oh yeah, of course, sure.
What's the matter with you?
Superman.
Yeah,
come on.
Where did we get him from?
And what we've discovered is that if you break 3 planes at the same time, one with the camera and 2 with their body movement, that you get a sense of a 3-dimensional object floating in space. And as soon as one of those planes stops moving, it becomes a 2-dimensional object, and it looks as though it's grounded.
So this scene here, it's pretty pivotal as far as the movie goes, isn't it?
Well, it's very pivotal.
We fly them in so many interesting ways that involve camera manipulation, or they're standing still, or they're on turntables. But this whole idea that they're flying over the river and you see the reflection and then she touches the water, this one baffled me.
It's like we're not going in continuity. The idea is these are moments, so I think they already did that, and now it's 2 people, and you're like, oh, we're seeing them in a different position, and they're looking funny, and why are their faces wobbling? Oh, it's reflection. Yeah. It requires a large mirror and a lot of green screen. Cables, actors, the whole thing.
I said, Mark, are you going to shoot this with Mylar? And those guys didn't go off the reflection and shoot it practically. And he said, no, we're going to shoot it 2 elements.
Yeah, I wanted to do the reflection, I wanted to do it the other, but that would have had to be sync motion control, but crazy. That wouldn't have worked.
so much effort put into each one of those different scenarios that it really seems like that week is my life. It's really, you know, going to be longer than it is because it's so intense.
I hope a lot of people feel as though they've flown after they've seen this movie, because then our job will be done, you know? I mean, if you come out of that movie feeling like, whoa, I flew with the guy, then we've done it.
And 3, 2, 1, action.
This was once the Fortress of Solitude set. Now it is a Mustang with a woman in it. It's got to be like boom, boom, bang, smashing through the clouds. Like really, really rigid, like really, really, really rigid. And then suddenly it's like this. Then it's like ah! There's a snorkel lens that can go right up right up, so you can point it like into her face. As she, not you, but Parker Posey. Become half a Mustang because we need to put it on this gimbal. Bang, smashing through the clouds. Now it's people suddenly in front of you. Just be mindful of not just going back and forth.
We are going to special effects building where we will be rehearsing Superman lowering Kitty's car to the ground.
Coming for you. So the car would be down there?
That's the car right there.
Is this dangerous, Gil?
Very dangerous, very dangerous. That's why I want you underneath the car before we have anybody else go underneath it, even our stuntmen, because I wouldn't want to have any of our stuntmen get hurt.
Here we go, and 3, 2, 1, go.
That's amazing.
Oh, it scared me a little bit.
You have to be confident in the end. He'll never drop it below a human
No, it's not
thing before you're out from underneath it. So you'll always be safe. You could always just drop to the ground and the car will just hang there. So even if he's lowering it quickly, you go quicker.
Why do you think this is so funny?
Because it just is. It's like it's straight out of a
It's not
comic
realistic?
book. Yeah.
Do you?
How could someone lift a car?
He's Superman.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go inside the car when Superman saves me.
What do you think about saving our director? Should you do it?
Somebody's got to do it.
All right, I'm inside the car. It is now lifted off the ground. It's a Mustang, and I'm about to be rescued by Superman, which means the nose is gonna go down. And 3, 2, 1, go! Boom, down goes the nose. Boom, strikes the ground. And we look around and...
It's kind of cool that we got to integrate the image of Action Comics. I don't know, it's something I wanted to do from the beginning.
Whose idea was it?
It was my idea. But then again, you're always wanting to cut between me and Mike, so I wouldn't put that anywhere.
day 101 today, and we're out in the streets down at Martin Place and Pitt, and we're ready to shoot some stuff, lift in the car. Superman's going to come out any minute. First time on the street in the suit in downtown Sydney.
You stoked about this?
I'm always stoked. Here, point the camera there. That's Superman. I'm just the guy who pulls the strings.
So once again, the first thing we're going to do is the still. So once we get it up there and we get in position, we'll do the still and get that out of the way.
Okay.
And then we'll start rehearsing. We're going to shoot the rehearsal.
Okay.
All right?
All right, car's going up in the air. Here it goes.
Just pay like.
Here we go.
Sort of get it out of your way. We're changing it a little from this, which was from yesterday's rehearsal, to this.
3, 2, 1, go!
Move, down, move, back, and then...
Wow, that was great. That's really quick.
Yeah, these kids like that, won't he trip over the cape?
The movie star instruction is, if you trip over the cape and fall on your ass, to smile and laugh it off, because it's all good fun. And if you really hurt yourself, keep smiling, come back down here, and we'll get the ice pack out.
There we go.
No, I have heart palpitation, a murmur. I have palpitations and a murmur. I need to go to a hospital. I need to go to a hospital. Please. You're supposed to say something like, hold on. Hold on. Right? Okay. Oh. All right, there you go. And action. Keegan, you just and real seriously, bang.
And then all of a sudden, guys, they take off, and there they go, up. Whoa!
It was very cool to be able to do that in the crowd, even though it was a cold evening. It's fun. It was great to be out in the suit in public. It was exciting, and the last couple takes we got of that the car was great. I really felt like, as much as I could do it under my own power, that I was doing it under my own power.
It looked good.
And
that very last take with Parker throwing up her legs, that was pretty hot.
Yeah, it was fun. It's a quick scene, but it's awkward, which is what it's supposed to be. So.
Are you guys excited about your big flying scene together?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited. Brandon's done this before.
I told her I'm a frequent flyer. There's nothing to worry about.
Day 102.
JP?
Ready.
Okay, guys, let's take him to number 1, please.
Ready. Still ready. Been here since 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm still ready. Still ready.
All right, here we go. Picture is up. Stand by.
Here we go. There should be more cape, more big, yeah, cape action. I mean, they've flown from the sky, so. That's what Parker slash. And action.
My palpitations are gone. Would you like to get a cup of coffee sometime?
And cut. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap on main unit for Parker Posey. Thank you.
Thank you guys. You were an amazing crew. You worked so hard. I'm glad you fight for your weekend. I think it's really cool. The producers are here. But thank you so much for your hard work.
All right. And
what's it like losing your cats one by one?
It's saddening, but I'm not losing you, Parker. I'll see you tomorrow on the second unit.
Yeah.
'Cause we're gonna do that. All right. Good night. Good night. We are finally here shooting the elevator change gag, which has been a debate. Glasses, tie, glasses. He's gonna enter the elevator, he walks into the elevator, he goes dun 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 dun, loosens his tie. You're not doing anything dramatic because people are watching you, so it's sort of just like, you're just sort of turning around very mellow about it. You just tie off glasses and then boom, tie, and then he goes. Just as if he's pushing up from his toes. Just boom. Now next shot is picks him up, wide angle, looking down the shaft, and imagine if I just go like
with the wind,
like that, with wind coming.
I'm hanging vertically on a wire rig, and I have nothing else to worry about. You're just trying to get this pants off. Maybe it's me literally, or somebody else in a green suit.
Somebody smaller than him.
Poof. Just pull the pants off. Coat, jacket, and shirt come off in one go, and does he help it like this?
He has to do
I
that,
think
yeah.
that we tether it as well.
And we tether it from there.
Yeah.
So do it.
3, 2, 1, close!
His hands go wham, boom, wham, right at the camera, and pow, he pops out of the ceiling of the Daily Planet, hits up to the sky, arcs, hits the speed of sound, breaks the sound barrier, and he's off into the ocean.
And what about his clothes? He's just going to leave them in the shaft?
He leaves yes, the clothes are fine in the elevator shaft.
What if a maintenance worker finds them?
It'll be in one of the other floors, and that's why he dresses so nondescript. Look, what happens when Superman changes his clothes in the street? What happens when he changes his clothes in a phone booth? How many phone booths are filled with Clark Kent's outfit?
The boots are an issue too? Come on.
The boots? No, look, see? The boots, look at what's happening there. See, the boots are underneath his shoes.
It all comes down to the same question.
How do they...
Why does he wear a cape?
That must be tough.
He wears a cape as part of his Kryptonian heritage.
Brian's favorite part.
Oh! This totally freaks me out. This whole contact lens process.
How does he go from this to getting the perfect slick back hair to the super hair with the curl? How does that happen?
As soon as he takes the clothes off.
It just automatically happens?
Yep.
Because it's a disguise. One, it's how he disguises himself. He puts on glasses and musses up his hair, and then he's Clark Kent. He takes the glasses off, he dons the hairstyle and the cape.
He dons the hairstyle. How does that exactly happen?
He just, I don't know, how do you do it, do you think?
My dad taught me in one of the crystals when I was traveling to Earth. It was actually one of the crystals, but they cut that out.
Day 64 outside the exterior Daily Planet Plaza. We've just had a little bit of a disaster, as you can see behind me.
What a disaster.
I don't understand why, for instance, this ground is chewed up like this.
Yes.
And these walls just have cracks and they'd be sticking out every bit as much as that floor.
No, not necessarily. Earthquakes, you know how they are. So you look at earthquakes, one building disappears into the ground, the building right next to it hasn't been touched. That's the logic of earthquakes. It depends on the kind of construction, material, and when things were built. As usual, it's more difficult to make sets look smashed up than it is to make them look pristine.
Because we have about 310 background that are going to run out of this building and try to make their way over to the park into the safe zone.
Okay, so remember, concern, big ball come out of the sky, stop when you see it, panic, move, stop again, and avoid the camera on your right.
I'm not sure. It's a little bit more challenging than I think we all thought it was.
Action and crash! Crash! And crash! Freeze.
As you can see here, that they're lowering a large bag of water.
Don't worry about the water, okay, guys? So it's just got to be something that happens, okay? If some of the wrong people are out there, don't worry about it. We'll get you dry. We'll just keep the flow going so everyone goes through, okay?
That means I don't get wet.
He on a steady cam.
You don't get
wet. Which is pretty awesome news, Brad.
Action!
And these two cars are going to smash behind
And
you.
that'll take
And you'll go,
Yep.
and then you'll be like,
He's my first big budget in a while.
That's the
hanging
bottom
thing?
of the globe. The globe will be on
You see,
top of it.
you see that ball up there? It's like a bigger version of that ball.
Yeah, but CG.
That's, how'd you know?
Kevin Spacey, who arrives today, I don't think has been in a movie quite like this. Will be fun.
Very few of us.
All this green screen and
Yeah.
cables. I think you tilted it too far.
Too much. Okay, so just then.
That's what. Mark
Yeah,
was
this?
Yeah, it's just the gentlest of feel. It's only like an inch or two, actually. That's all you need.
Okay.
And then it's important that it leaves your hands. So it might look a little clunky when it comes up, Brian, but I really need it to clear.
Okay, so I'll keep my hands the same.
So, yeah.
I won't move my hands with it. Then I'll just go.
Because if the glove comes up
and just
too
leave it like
high,
this.
You should push it up.
So
Once
you
it,
should come
but up. Then it's going to come and leave your hands.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't
So it's actually leaving my hands, so then I can drop my hands back down.
And you just see, and you're like,
We're all standing out here quivering and
you'll be like,
right.
Mr. White, and then something like that.
Okay. So, but he's up there, right? He's or is he right?
Yeah, he's right where Colin is.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So I'm like warning him of the.
You won't be standing like Lex Luthor.
Right.
Superman! Harry White, Daily Planet. What the hell just happened?
I'm not sure, Mr. White. We're going to find out.
Oh, wait. Lois is missing.
I'll find her.
And I thank all of you folks, especially those of you who've been with us for a while, background, and the crew for an amazing first half of a very long movie. So, I just wanted to say also, this is a wrap on Sam Huntington, Jimmy Olsen, and it is a big wrap on Mr. Frank Langella.
Well, here we are. It's the last day of the Daily Planet Plaza for First Unit. It's a very, very sad day, but take one last look. There it is. Thank you to the Sydney crews for building an amazing set.
I thought it would be nice to play emotionally, to play him being brought to the hospital. It's like this idea, it just came from when Kennedy was brought to the hospital in Dallas. And all these people in Dallas who, all they knew was the president was coming to Dallas, some probably maybe didn't even know or weren't even aware, and then suddenly the president of the United States is dying and he's being brought, but not just the president, this is President Kennedy. Why don't you get the camera here? like just here.
Right.
And walk very slowly. And then do. I mean, okay.
And
action.
Action, Tristan. Boots.
No, I like being on the move and him and see, there we go.
Well, yeah.
Now we get the whole thing and now.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's fine. Exactly kind of sort of what I just did 2 and 3.
Let's try that. See what happens. Okay? Thanks, buddy.
Tristan's level, the camera's down at Tristan's level, and suddenly you're expecting, and then the fact that Tristan's there like this, and and he's like this, and when he went up like that, it created this weird jarring illusion, like the kid just went like that, and you think for a minute he just willed the door to pop open, or we did a bad effect, where he did this and somehow it opened, like it was like a bad effect, and then suddenly he's standing there, and you're like, oh, that's what I'm looking at. So that's gonna be great.
This is the wet pantry, we call it. This one gets full of water, really full of water.
And now we're back in the gimbal, and configuration 5A. So we can shoot all the profile leading up to Lois getting hit by the door. And then the jeopardy shots is what we call them, when the water's rising to a level of, which basically means doom.
I wish I could say I wasn't having fun, but it's kind of fun.
Hey Tristan, I have a question. Do you think that your mom in this movie knows that you're half Kryptonian?
No, I don't.
Oh, I definitely know. Yeah, I mean, I see it, Mike.
Superman! Save me! Come on, go in, get him.
I don't have a change of clothes.
It's fun to get in there and get, wet. Yeah, that's the fun stuff to me. Something about, leaping into giant tanks of water and pulling people out and that kind of stuff. It's just, it excites the testosterone. It gets me all excited to be a guy. I just think that they're gonna probably come back and reshoot everything because we're not wet enough.
All right, here we go. Set, ready, and action.
It was just so hard. It was really taxing, just in a huge tank, and it was very cold. And of course, all the guys could wear sort of wetsuits because they had, long sleeves, and I was in a dress, so I didn't have any wetsuit. But it was fun.
Brandon is pulling a ship out of the ocean.
All right, here we go.
Well, half a ship.
Picture over here. And action.
There's something going on back there. I don't know what it is, but we can't.
Worst place to be
it's the worst place to be right now.
This is Jeff Reese. He's our professional pilot today, making sure that I don't do anything stupid in the seaplane.
So, Lois? Yeah? He's going to be holding on. You're unconscious. Like,
you let them down
put your arm around like this.
Oh, I'm holding on to both of them.
You're holding on. No, you're holding on to one hand. What I want is a more forceful Lois Lane, not
right.
the.
Wouldn't there be sort of a love triangle rivalry going on at the same time too?
Well, there's that. That's the undercurrent. That's why there's water.
Undercurrent.
Brian has devised. It's all metaphors and stuff.
Large.
It's the most civilized wet down I've ever seen.
It is the most civilized wet down.
Just jumped in the giant tank.
What sort of flower do you think you are, Tristan? A stinkweed? A water flower?
Tristan was so great in all the water stuff. He loved getting in the water most of the time. He was the one wanting to get in the sun and get wet before we got in the harnesses, and then we were wet in the harnesses, and they were pulling us up and down, the wind blowing, and all kinds of crazy stuff that we were doing. It was like for him, for a kid, it was probably like being at a water park. But for us, we just wanted the water to be warmer. But it was fun, and we had a good an alternate version of the scene.
What?
I was telling him about the alternate.
We're doing some underwater work with Superman. Basically, once he falls off the cliff of New Krypton, he falls off the cliff several hundred feet, splashes into the water and goes unconscious basically and has to sink and fall away into the abyss. And he travels about 10 feet, lands on the water surface, penetrates about 8 feet, and floats another 8 feet to the bottom, holding his breath. And camera sweeps by him as he goes by, and the shot prior to the one we just did was about as close as you ever want to get, within inches of making contact with the lens, which was fantastic.
As soon as the thing is over, just then start struggling so we get some bubble action going up to the top. 'Cause now bubbles will be going in a accommodating direction.
He lands on the bottom and takes a certain count, and then when they yell cut, Harley, our safety diver, swims in and gives him air and brings him to the surface. But once he's underwater, when he grabs the regulator from the safety diver, now he's on compressed air, and you have to take your time coming to the surface, so you have embolism problems and things that are related to scuba diving. So he can't just rocket to the surface. He has to come up slowly so he doesn't embolize.
Good job, Brandon.
Nice work. This is our sophisticated visual effects tool, the Superman motion control camera. With this device, we can understand how to make a man fly.
So I had all these ideas that it was going to be physically exhausting, and Brian, said, it's going to be a tough thing. Are you prepared for that? And I'm like, I guess so. I don't really know what it's going to be like, but I'm actually surprised at a lot of the things I've done. I guess involving flying rigs, not being worried about it, and just doing it.
Action.
Laughing with you.
What's it like working together? How do you two like working together? Come on. How do you two like working together?
Into the water.
Super, in a word.
Super.
Honestly, there's coffee there.
What are you saying? If I wasn't in costume, what?
This is how Kevin gets into character.
And sometimes I even know the people I chuck down on the ground.
No, I eagerly anticipate working with Kevin. We've had some run-ins at the studio,
Kill Superman. Kill him. Kill Superman.
He's got this cart that he's made up. Kryptonite on the side, and he's got this doll chained to the back, and he drops it off and drags it and yells on his megaphone.
Superman must die.
I definitely feel his presence.
Where is my director? Brian Singer.
Brian, it's literally like showing up at a party and everyone's left.
Everyone's gone.
I do the wigs for Lex Luthor, who is Kevin Spacey, and originally I came thinking I was doing 6 different varied hairstyles, but as it turns out, the public love Lex more. So we've nutted it down to 3, and they all look fabulous. Kevin wears them extremely well, and Lex makes them creepy.
Superman must die. Superman must die. Super Buster.
All right. Lex the Super Buster. Superman must die. Kryptonite on the sides. Come on. Look at my car. And look who's dragging on the back. Superman.
This is insane.
Superman must die. If you'd like a Lex Super Buster, dial now.
They always say about, these kinds of movies about heroes are only as good as their villains. For me, Kevin Spacey was a no-brainer because I work with him on The Usual Suspects. We've been friends for years, and we developed the role very much with him in our minds.
I think he's had too much coffee. Watching Brian on set with this material is like watching a crazy kid who is in the biggest candy store that he could ever hope to find himself in.
Action.
I really finally got to see a script very, very late. I think a few months before they actually started shooting. So I had long agreed to do the movie.
We'll go hot on effects, we'll roll. Cameras are all staying where they are, so we'll just start the trains, and then I'll say set, and then we'll get our thump, 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 and that's when the pyro will go off.
Just make sure you wait for our dialogue, because I know you're so excited about the thump, thump, thump.
Oh, and
That you may go thump, thump, thump
I'll
while
put on the
I'm about to
headphones.
say, no, keep thump, thump, thump.
Let's just action.
The train set was made possible by an incredible donation from Marklin, a German train company. Because of their contribution, I would say the set itself cost about $70,000.
The reason I did the film was because of Brian. Like on Usual Suspects, I just completely trust him and put my performance, my life, everything in his hands, and I feel you know, that I've got a great safety net.
These are important matters to be sure, but the knowledge that I have matters physical and historic. I've given you fully on your voyage to your new home.
No, so it's not necessarily those words.
But it's something like those.
Something like that, but the thousands of years.
Yeah.
I don't like.
So he won't say, "I'm your father, you're my son," because then that kills our.
Who is he?
You know, I don't need to answer it if he's saying it, but
Yeah,
you're
well,
saying that won't be it.
No, that won't be it.
Mostly the thing that, you know, that I think Brian and I were both concerned about is tone.
Miss Lane, you are missing the bigger picture here. I don't have a pocket. And
Yeah, just close bang.
Yeah, I like that.
On one hand, a movie like this doesn't work unless you have a nemesis. And so therefore he has to embody all of those qualities that are scary and frightening and all of that.
Especially Superman.
Can we take it back? Are you gonna... I don't really want to hit you.
You have to hit him. He has asked that you hit him.
I was gonna pretend the brakes were out. Pretend, like we talked about. You didn't actually have to cut them!
Of course I did. Now come on. Let me hear you say it.
No! Not that. Oh, the other thing. Come on. You know, it's just dangling up to your tongue. I just want to hear you say it. Just one.
Superman.
Wrong!
But on the other hand, it is a comic book, and you do want to sort of honor that more humorous aspect of it.
Day 89 of many days, and we're at the exterior tropical island.
This is an early morning. We were here moving this helicopter in little increments back and forth and try to get a frame to sell this as an island.
No.
Because it's hardly an island.
Well, no man is an island either.
No man is an island, and an island feels no pain, and a rock never cries. And it's only an island if you look at it from the outside.
This is my favorite.
She's a
movie
cannibal.
dog. She's a cannibal. You watching this?
Spacey wanted to eat the dog, and then...
Then we thought, let's write it in the
then
script.
we thought, actually, let's put it in the script. It's always so easy that way.
Yeah.
There are levels of certain scenes or performance stuff where you allow yourself to get sort of slightly more outrageous.
Give me that dog! Give me that damn dog! Give it to me! I want that dog! You want to see a dog steak? It's really delicious! Come here, little... Come here, little puppy!
Is this method?
And He took the dog.
Yeah,
so
I'm a
his
method
footprints
Lex.
walking out to it. Yep, there they are.
Ready?
Very good.
Sometimes it feels like you're being a little over the top. But if you're going to get away with being over the top, this is probably the movie to do it.
Today we're shooting at the Vanderwerth Mansion. It is a reform school, and before that it was used to treat war veterans. They would pull them up in the port here, and then the nurses would take care of them.
I was told it was probably adapted for the war, but it was originally built for mentally challenged. I don't think for mentally challenged people, but for mentally diseased people. And they would not want to bring them through town because they thought it was contagious, so they would bring them from the water, bring them to right in.
But your friend, you can hold on to her when you're feeling a little wobbly.
Okay?
Okay.
I know you're a good man. And all good men deserve a second chance. You've shown me pleasures that I've never known. I love you. Lex Luthor.
Okay. Is that Noel's last thing?
I think it is.
With the last piece we're getting?
I think it is.
Huh?
She dies, she's over.
Right,
This has to be some kind of historical Guinness Book of World Records event.
Gertrude
Is this?
Vanderwerth, yeah.
It must be.
Finish.
This is, yeah.
The longest continuing career in Superman.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap on Noel Neal.
Thank you. You've all been so helpful. Especially you.
Well, you're
You
great.
put up with a lot.
No, this is, I'm very excited. Trust me. Okay. It's gonna be fun. Oh yeah. You're gonna love it.
She's such a youthful spirit, so youthful, and has such a light about her. And she's just this little petite, sweet being. And I just thought, wow, how amazing is it for her that she's getting flown, you know, from her hometown to Australia on this huge movie set, which I'm sure was much different than what it was for her when she was doing the role.
It's sort of flabbergasting when you sort of go to these sets and you see the scale of it.
Oh my God, I'm blind. All right. So, and when you go, exit. You have to even after you're out of the door, because we can still see your feet through the cracks.
Go to the left.
Go to the left. Yes.
All right.
Okay. We're done. That's.
Is there any possibility that you want to actually shoot this, or do you want to talk about it?
Oh.
And believe me, on some of those sets, you do feel remarkably small.
Five-minute warning till ding ding, till
the explosion.
Happy birthday.
What's his? Is he traveling?
Not yet.
Oh, really? And Tom, when we do this, can you do some kind of shot? You know, just roll some film and roll some sound.
Traveling right now.
Traveling now?
Yep.
Take up.
Everybody, quick.
Thank you. Cake will be served after we get the shot.
Yes. Let's take the cake out.
Yes, take the cakes away. Let's get the shot.
You do have to make some kind of adjustment in your own head about how do I make this real for myself when I'm, I mean, sometimes even in movies that aren't special effects movies, you have to do weird things.
What exactly are you doing?
I'm loading the mortar into the cannon and rocket fire. A combination of flash powder and copper oxide.
Guys, listen up. If there's a tight camera on Parker, since she's not going to have the real dog in this scene, let's get that camera on something else. The laser is going to be the rocket sort of going off into the air, and then I'll cue a light. There'll be a big, brilliant, bright light, and that's it. I mean, I don't want to shoot much.
Say lights out.
And then, oh yeah, and then there'll be a blackout.
Stay live, huh? And action, and 3, 2, 1, fire!
Today we're here at the set of New Krypton, well, a portion of it anyway. The idea is that we have created a new island. It's grown from the sea's ocean, grown from a crystal about so big into an island that's absolutely enormous, about 4 miles wide.
There are dead fish on the set, real dead fish.
You must like these dead animals. Just something right up your alley.
I love it. Surrounded by death, destruction.
Always a good thing.
The entire set is made of expanded foam and polystyrene, and it's been hard-coated to give us a really firm base to stand on.
This is like the world's biggest boogie board.
Again, with special effects' help, we've rigged these huge, almost like shower heads. The idea being that water cascades down the side here, not because there's a river up there, but basically because the island is continually draining. If you swing around, you'll see that we still have kept the sort of the icon of the hexagonal shapes. You'll see them all over the surface. There are also recessed areas, inverted hexagonal shapes, and they're rock pools. So when we wet down the set with special effects' help, we create these rock pools. And I sort of liken it to being at the edge of a beach and exploring rock pools. We've got everything here from seaweed to seashells. There's some sand on this set.
This is no fantasy. This is no careless product of wild imagination.
Day 94, in case anybody was interested. New Krypton set. Lots of water and a little bit of mist.
Today's the day that Lex Luthor starts kicking Superman's boutiques. So it's a very important scene because it's the first time they actually meet face to face for the first time.
I certainly didn't have to worry about it that much because Kevin brings so much to the table, and the presence I feel from, even though I can't even hardly see him from all the way up there, from where I stand, I feel when he walks in.
The next shot is it's bang, a reverse to give it energy, and it's you going slice, 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 break, 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 tumble, cape, blue suit, hair, cape, blue suit, boots, bang, on the ground. And then you're just looking up, and you're like, what the just happened? And I think that's what I just needed something, just the jolting, other than a stunty punch.
What's a secret you can tell us about doing a stair fall like this?
There is no secret. You just have to go. You can plan it, you can try it, but anything can happen on the way down. So we aim for the best, and hope it comes out that way.
3, 2, 1, go!
Couple of pictures. Katie.
Good. Yeah, good.
Katie.
What'd you think?
Great.
So
not a crystal standing. Knowing that I wanted Kevin made things a lot easier because I know Kevin and I know what he's capable of, and it was kind of fun for him because one, he and I got to work together, and two, I don't think he had been in a movie of this size before, so all the stuff, the sets and the green screen and the rigs and all these different things, he just found utterly fascinating. And once all that was in place, it was just a matter of getting his dialogic rhythm.
You're asking yourself how? Didn't your dad ever tell you to look before you leap?
That's when you have to kick him. He needs to be put down. He needs to be kicked in the face.
So that way.
So,
didn't your dad ever tell you to
look before you leap, and then
slow motion? Boom. You know what? You took away 5 years of my life. I'm just returning the favor.
Then you catch it. And you're like this, and then I don't know how Ian, now you gotta go pick him up and carry him across the entire set.
It was almost like grab him on the face. It's like
Grab him by the face, by the way. That was
I love that.
You
said rugby.
Standard
rugby move.
Standard rugby move. Grab him by the face.
No, one of my favorite scenes is in the Music Lovers when Chamberlain grabs Glenda Jackson by the head. I think you do this. I think you do. Ooh, those are big hands.
Yeah, I would say grab him by the face. Take 12. Grab him by the face.
Mr. Spacey's last day. He's already text messaging London. He text messages a lot. I don't know how to text message. I think if I did know how to text message, I'd be text messaging all the time.
This is the final scene with Lex Luthor.
Come in, the water's great.
Okay.
I just broke the camera.
And I don't want to get all wet, but you're gonna go clunk, clunk right through the water. They're gonna sort of move out of your way, and then you're just gonna go, however you're gonna do that. And then get in his ear and say,
Yeah. You have to wait for me to get to.
No, I know. I've been fully prepped. Brandon, just know that all I'm going to do with this is turn my hand.
Is that a real solid piece?
That's the real solid piece, because the rubber piece will move as I walk. I looked at it and it's a bit.
Don't you know that sleight of hand stuff?
I know that sleight of hand
he
stuff.
does, but it's gotta be.
We're hoping. Yeah, that's fine.
She's going down.
Annabelle, please. And action!
So long, Superman.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap on Kevin Spacey. Thank you very much.
There's a way people view characters that you play, and then there's a way that you view them when you're playing them. And you don't walk onto a set playing, oh, I'm playing this really evil character now, I'm going to be the villain. You're just playing a character. You know, after a period of years of sort of doing parts that got labeled villainous, because they were dark and slightly, you know, twisted, but then aren't we all?
Superman must die. He must die.
Presentation we put together for Brian while he's busy shooting to talk about the bank robbery. 6 police cars, no SWAT team and no SWAT van. The guy smiled from ear to ear, so presumably that means total annihilation. So he's working on the premise of if the test we saw was 12 rounds, you're getting 50 rounds per car.
So if I have 20 people on the ground, 20 cops on the ground,
you do like 3
6
scenarios
cars,
and you email.
We say 2 per car plus, 8 other people.
So really this demonstrates to the director the portion of this scenario that's a set and the portion that's a real location. This is actually the building that is under siege right now. We will shoot the exterior elements, which are really from the road up to the front of the building, all on location. About a block away we have residential areas, so we can't go blowing things up sort of in the middle of the night, which is what we're going to do. We couldn't find any explosions or charges big enough for Brian, so I went to the Australian military, and we've actually got some
military.
Yeah.
My name's Chris Murray, and I was the pyro boss for this sequence. Had a team of about 6 or 7 people who have all worked very, very hard and very well. We used new technology on this sequence. We used programmable detonators, which means each detonator has an identity and you can assign it a time. They're intrinsically safe. It hasn't been done before, and it's worked pretty well, and we're really very happy.
Which cars are going to blow up here?
All of them. Why not?
All of them?
Yeah, why not? It's going to be a very, very highly charged evening, and I'm looking forward to it.
This is it. We're actually doing a little bit of car work here. I got the Aussie boys sliding the cars into a stop in front of the bank building here, and we're all pretty happy about it.
It's a mess. I told you not to give the kids the car.
Hey, I'm gonna knock him out in the third, you know. We call him Superman, but I don't think he's so super. I think he's got a weakness.
Rehearsal is up.
You never know how wide your lens is. I never know if sometimes I'm sitting in the background making some goofy face.
What's the man doing with the tights?
Rehearsal. Here we go. Rehearsal.
It's a funny color red. Is that a rust color? Is it oxidizing?
Just a bunch of crooks running around packing onto a helicopter.
Why blue tights? Why not green tights? Why not yellow tights?
Today is day 143, and we're on the rooftop finishing our last day of main unit photography.
Gil?
Well, actually, this pose he got from me. I've been standing like this for weeks now.
Is this the longest you've ever gone on a shoot?
This is the longest I've ever gone on a shoot.
Standing like this, he was able to glean an awful lot of how he needed to be.
The machine was absurdly large. It's just absurd. Let's go. Shoot me with it. The guy dies almost left it for me as a practical joke. But then I decided, well, it's Superman, I'll make it a big gun. I'm Superman! Well, certainly a big gun.
You get to do something we've never seen in a Superman movie or television show.
Sure.
Ever. Which is you get to stick a gun in Superman's face, pull the trigger, and shoot his eye. How does Superman feel when these guys, yet again, are pulling guns and trying to shoot Superman? I mean, haven't you seen this enough? When are they going to learn?
Well, I really have seen it enough.
The rage you have to get at from shooting to the point where you empty the minigun out and then go right for his eye has to just be like blind rage.
I think the bank robber just gets caught up in the emotion of it and keeps going until the gun runs out of ammunition, and then thinks he sees one weak spot. He sees a wet eye.
It's a good time to come back to old tricks. You know I can do this, and it's fun to see the look on the bad guy's face when he realizes that, he's absolutely, definitely...
Could be the most memorable part of the film.
It's a little shaking, yeah.
All right, rubber gun for rehearsal. On a bell, please.
Rob, start the gun. We got a set.
Action. Bang, 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 bang.
Just let's Let's just do it. I like what happened there.
Don't do that.
Age young. Age young.
Go ahead. That should be good.
It's going to be gone by then anyway, so it's good. Yeah.
You asked earlier why I was picking the eye. Well, my line is, if the man cries, the man dies.
Can you give us a little summation of this experience for you? I mean, this is the biggest movie you've been involved in, right?
You know what? I feel like this is the first time that I've really been on a day-to-day basis totally immersed and involved in the process.
Has anything surprised you about this production?
No, I obviously hired the wrong videology guy.
Ready and action.
Action.
Pop! What's going through your mind when you come out that door? Do you think you might die? And
What's going on through my mind? I've got a vision of a gorgeous girl up there, you know?
I gotta try to hit my mark, make sure I pull the trigger, and wait for my cousin to come save me.
I like the idea of the one that hits there. It's like a little in the back. Just, you know, and then... Does this make any sense?
They're officers and they're going to be pretty precise and in a bit of a cluster.
They're security guards.
Yeah.
That's
That's true, that's true.
Bang!
Just be careful, Bronson. Sorry, just like to. I'll get you some goggles. It's away and I'll be back in a second.
Yep. I know.
Do you want to take mine off and look away?
Wonderful. Safety. Okay, I'll say bangs because we're on your mouth now, so you can't say bang. Where it's a full shot.
And let's go hot on effects.
Action.
It looks like a really simple shot, 2 actors sitting down, but oh my God, watch this.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a main unit. Picture wrap. I'm Brandon Rapp. Awesome. All right, we got some people to talk to. See, let's people stop.
Hello, everybody. Good evening to those I haven't said good evening to. I don't even know what to say, but this has been an amazing experience for me. But I'd just like to thank you all for working so hard on this amazing film. There have been days when I have had not good days for me. I've been emotionally distraught, physically beat up, and I may not have been nice to some of you. So I apologize for that. No bad feelings really. Just being a little emotional. I'm an actor. I'm so flabbergasted by what we've done all together, and it's the true spirit of Superman. And I'm so proud that it takes this many people to make this happen. It's really special. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. Brandon Rapp, Superman.
What do you have to say for yourself?
It's not over. It's not over.
What's it like to work together?
Well, we got some ADR. And,
see the film.
Yeah. See the film.
You know, don't mind that, Lois. Mom, it's not easy for me to live there. When phones are ringing.
Actually, she's... Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Cyclops?
Oh, I didn't look up. It's so funny. You guys did great, though.
Not long ago, Superman and the Daily Planet went together like...
It's always about Sam.
You know, I try to make it that way. Sorry.
Olsen, you're fired.
Jesus. Yeah, how pissed do you think Superman is?
A lot.
Yeah. He is a lot pissed.
Let's just keep it open and just go. I mean, isn't this digital? Yeah, so why are we cutting all the time?
Just to spare the editor.
Spare me. Sorry, I'm just in character.
So am I.
You're asking yourself, how? Sorry. Did that really hit you? So sorry. Sorry. I'll be right back. Medic?
It's all right, George.
Martha!
It's all right, George.
Martha, what are you doing?
I'm Ben. George is the other guy I know, so.
Martha, I knew you'd be trouble.
Let me take it back. Are you gonna... I don't really want to hit you.
You
but...
have to hit him. He has asked that you hit him.
Go!
Sorry.
No, keep going.
Crystals. They're amazing, aren't they? They inherit the minerals of the qualities... What? We'll learn.
The virtuous spirit has no need for thanks or approval. Only the certain conviction that what has been done is right. Develop such conviction in yourself, Elal, Kal-El, Ralph, whatever your name is.
Just cut. We'll just pick it up.
Yeah.